Okay, so we're just on the third section, the third part of this video, where we're going to cover and finish off this entire project, and we're going to finally prototype it as well. Hello and welcome back everyone. In this video we're going to continue the entire layout that we left, and we are going to modify this layout to look exactly like Google. Okay, now Figma in itself is a pretty powerful tool. We have already seen that, and we have already discussed, and we have used it as well. What we're going to look around is how you can actually start adding images and how you can start adding elements and make it look exactly like Google. And this also talks about how you can select the font. I'm going to tell you a few tricks which are there, how you can search for the right tools, and how you can use the inspect elements on Google browser to find for the exact thing that you're looking for. Okay, now this is in respect to a reference where you already have a design and your designer has given you already a design, and you have to replicate that design. This also means that in case you have already coded a website and you want to replicate that website in sort of layout, and you want to redesign that website in some sort of layout, you can create a Figma file first. You can exactly replicate how your website is looking currently, and you can start working on that website in sections by sections. Okay, this is a good design approach. Why? Because it allows for understanding what all elements you can reuse and how you can reduce the time of coding in the later part. This also allows you to understand how your elements can be stitched together and how your elements can be broken down into a much more simplified and unified approach. Pretty extensive and pretty helpful. You are also going to look around how these small tools are going to be helpful for you when it comes to stitching things together as well. Okay, when we're going to move to the next video, we're going to talk about prototyping. And in that phase of prototyping, we're going to see how these small layouts which are there and how these small components which are there will allow you to connect different dots together and connect different pages together to make a unified page structure, something like Google, where you can obviously start from one point and go to depth, and you can come back to the same point as well. This structure in itself is pretty helpful when it comes to understanding, making sure that your flow is maintained and your user is still attached to the same sort of attraction when it's on your platform. So again, these sort of small techniques are going to be very helpful for you when it's going to be talking about how you can start stitching things together. Okay, without any further talking, let's actually start diving into how you can replicate this entire Google platform for your browser and for your Figma layout. Okay, the first and the foremost thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this board or frame altogether. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this frame, and what I'm doing is I'm going to keep it right over here because I'm going to convert this right away. Okay, and similarly I'm going to do it with the iPhone layout as well. Okay, perfect. Now this being done, what we have is we have the two layouts parallel placed, and what we can start doing is we can start adding images. Okay, now we already have the set of rulers which are there, okay, which are pretty good. We don't really have to worry about the rulers now. The important part over here is to understand that the elements that you're going to add are going to be the same thing as you have on the Google website. So if you see on the header part, you have Gmail, images, and this. Let's start by digging out the exact properties or props for these. Okay, so when we are going to talk about React Native in the further videos, we're going to see something known as props, which are the properties of these buttons and images and icons, and we're going to use that word props again and again. So instead of properties, we use something known as props. It's the same thing with like a shorter version of it. Okay, so let's go to the browser. If you go to Google, right click over here and click on inspect. And the first and the foremost thing is that you get, I have to reduce this out. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all click on this Gmail, and inspect element by itself is a pretty powerful tool when it comes to understanding the properties. So if you see the color, it says white. Okay, and you can essentially see the color in hex files as well. The hex code for this color is 6xF. You can copy this code, you go to Figma, and if you add a text, okay, like this, and you write something, okay, you can essentially color the text in the same color because Figma gives you the property to add the hex file as well, hex value for this. So now this is exactly of the same color as it is being used on Google. Pretty good. Why? Because it allows for your control or the exactness of the color to be very accurate. Okay, the first thing is I'm going to start with the background because that's something that I can see. Okay, the background which is there. I know it's black, but it can be something else as well. So let's start with that. So okay, it says black. I can copy the hex code, which is 6 times zeros. Copy this, go back to my Google. I mean the Figma. I'm gonna select the colors which are there. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this black. Enter, and I have the entire layout being made into black. Okay, I think this is going to be the last step, since I don't want to keep the colors black because everything else is black. Rather, I would select something which is halfway through black or gray. Okay, more like gray, so it's easier for me to identify the elements which are already there, and to make sure that I can see the elements in the wireframe layouts for now, because that then it's going to be a little difficult for me. Okay, now let's start by adding the image. Okay, we have the Google image. I can just right click over this thing. Sometimes it's not visible, so you can click on this and have like this, and you click if you are using inspect elements, it will also help you to find the source of the images. I can just click save image as, and save it in my downloads, and be Google. Okay, new year. Okay, that's all. I'm going to go to Figma, and I'm going to drag and drop this over here, and I have the image now. Now, something that I'm going to do is I'm going to scale the image for my utility. Now, when you're scaling, it might just have this response dimension ratio being changing. What you can do to lock that is you can press shift, okay, and that's going to keep the image logged. Okay, something like this, and now your image is right exactly at the place where you want it to be, and with the maintained ratio as well, because if you don't maintain the ratio, it probably is going to get distorted, and it's going to be a huge problem at the end. Now, this being done, you have the image over here, and you can start working on the rest of the elements like this. Okay, close this off, and now what we have is we have a icon for the search bar, which is a magnifying glass, and we have a button for the Google Assistant. We can see if we have the image for this, or it's an XML code. Sometimes they are XML code, so then it's like a little difficult for us to replicate that, because it's all code path. Okay, let's see this one. Is it code as well, or is it also a path? Oh, this is also a path. No worries. What you can do is you can use Google to find Google Assistant logo. So Assistant logo, and you should be able to find this. Okay, I got something similar. I think this one. Yep. Is this a PNG? I don't think so. We have the option for PNGs. Yep. Okay. Let's verify. Okay, now we have the PNG. Okay, let's add this, and now we have the image. Let's maintain the ratio again, and keep it over here. Okay, perfect. This being done, what we had left with is the magnifying glass, which we're going to add. Let's see. Okay, I have this over here. I want an inverted one, but let's see, transparent search logo. Okay, I think this works. Let's see if we have the PNG. Yep, we do have the PNG, but there are a lot of ads. Download PNG. Close this. Okay, this is the PNG. I can just click on save image. Search PNG, enter. I'm going to drag and drop that over here, and I'm going to do like this. Okay, now this makes it pretty clearly visible. We can align it like this. Okay, now this is a pass-through layer, which means this is basically like a transparent layer. You can also have different you have different options to do the diffusion. If you click on I think This won't work unless and until you have like a, what do you call, like a different layers, okay, underneath it. So let's just keep it pass through. Okay, and you can obviously go to effects and have like a drop shadow in case you want, but not really required. And you have luminance and you have other options for transparent images, which is pretty good. Okay, now that being said and that being done, what we have is like basically the search bar which we need, and we can start adding text. Now adding text takes a little bit of time, so what you can do is you can do that part on your own as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the major parts first so that we can fix these things. Okay, now I'm going to go back to Google. No, like Google, yeah. Okay, and I have the image over here. So this is my like profile picture being compressed into a small icon. Okay, so I can just Google circular profile picture sample. Let's see. We have now open images as well, which look fine to me. Let's just open one of these. Okay, this should work, but I think this is not PNG. I want a PNG. Let's just write PNGs. Okay, this is from a website. Okay, and let's see if this is, yeah, okay, I think this is download PNG. Perfect. We have that downloaded. Let's go back. Okay, it's downloading. It's gonna take a while. Okay, now it's done. We'll add that over here, and I'm gonna reduce that over here. I make sure that you press shift to maintain the ratio. Okay, now that's there. You can start adding text, which was Gmail. Okay, essentially Gmail and the controller, and that will essentially cover and make your entire website look like this. Text part is something that I'm going to leave. I'm going to do it only for one section, which is Gmail. You can zoom in. Okay, Gmail. If you go to your Google, you should be able to see like this. Okay, now you can see that this is how it looks. We can go to inspect again, click on Gmail again, and you should be also coming across something which is more important, which is the font. Let's see the font, decorations, line spacing, font. Exactly, this is what I need. The font is serif. Okay, that's what. Okay, so it says Roboto, Arial Sans Serif. Okay, regular. Okay, so the first one which we are talking about is Roboto. I'm going to go to Figma. Fun fact: Roboto was actually developed in India. Okay, by an artist from Gujarat. So, and it's the standard of Google now. So pretty good. Okay, we're already on Roboto, which is pretty good. Let's keep it over here. Let's go back. Let's go to second one is images. Okay, images. Perfect. Now, two things done. What we have is the layout being set like this, and looks good for me. I think we can start optimizing the layout on a much more better scale once we have more elements. I can start removing these boxes, to be honest, because then it's going to look more similar. Okay, perfect. We actually have the box, so I think it's going to go over here. Okay, now I'm going to go to Google and see for this image if this is an image or a path, or this is a path as well. So if it's a path, it becomes a little bit of a problem because it's like an SVG image. It's basically like pure code, which makes it a little difficult to replicate because you can't really copy paste it. And how do you call it? Okay, Google. This is known as a burger button. App burger button. Perfect. Let's go with this and go to images. Okay. See. In case you're onto a situation like this where you're not able to find something, I can tell you a very good hack. You use your, in case you want to be like very exact about this thing, you can press your screenshot button, screenshot this icon, go to your Figma, drag and drop this icon, and you have the image as well. Just in case you want to try it out. But I'm not really sure if it's like the right way of doing it. But sometimes when you're like you want to get things up and running faster, probably the best way to do this. Okay, now you can make it black, and you have the exact image. Okay, you can also get the color reference as well, so which is again pretty good. Since I took a little bit of area from the image, I can actually zoom in, select the exact pixel like this, and make it exact black. Okay, now it's like blended in properly. So this was not essentially entirely black. This is something else, which is to my surprise. There. Okay, so this is 220. The hex value is this, which also tells us that they are not using the exact black color, which is okay. Okay, now I can get rid of this one as well. Okay, now let's get rid of this, and also hide the rulers as well. Click on this, go to the edit and hide the rulers. Now we have the rulers hidden, and now what we need is we need this box, but we need like the outline to be white and the inside to be transparent. Okay, you can do something like this, as you can select this and it's transparent now. The search search button is like a problem, which I thought it would be, but that's okay because we are just trying out things, and you know that this is there. So let's see if we can fix it with something else. Difference usually fixes all these things, but I'm not really sure why it's not, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, no, it's not gonna fix that all this works. But it's fine. We'll find a white one. If you're using Adobe XD, sometimes you have that option to fill that thing with a color that you need, which is also sometimes really good. Okay, what you can do is you can actually add a stroke. This was my last resort. Let's see if stroke works. And you pass it normal. Okay, it's adding just a border, which is not what you need. So I'm going to delete this out. Okay, now it looks something like this. Now we can actually start looking at things coming into picture. You can add small text and make it exactly look like how Google looks, which makes it like exactly how it's going to look, and you can start fitting it for the phone version as well. We're going to do this in the next video. This was just to give an idea and not to overburden you with a lot of information, but just to give you an idea how you can make your layout come alive with the help of the standard basic route that we followed, which we did. The first step was to basically get a layout like this, which was there. Then you move on to something like this, which is like a wireframe, like a proper wireframe, and then you move to something like this, where you add all the images and make the layout look look professional. So I hope you had great fun, a lot of fun understanding these concepts and learning these new things. And I'll see you on the next one. Till then, happy learning and peace.